In this lesson, we're going to tackle the fuselage. So what I want to do, and what I've done is I've darkened the background so you can see some of the projection manipulators a little bit better. What I'm going to go do first is I'm going to go to Show, and I'm going to isolate my selection. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and planar map the side of this. Now that may sound a little strange, but it seems like, well, maybe we should cylindrically map it, and that's possible, but this actually will work well. I'll bring up our UV texture editor, and you can see that a good portion of this will map pretty well. Like, for example, the side pieces here, and we can do a lot with this projection. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to my edge, and I want to cut out this interior piece. So I'm going to click right on the edge here. And then I'm also going to cut across this part. So I can clip this little piece. And I'm going to cut that edge, cut that UV edge by clicking on this little button. And I'll go to UVs, I'll click in that edge, and then I'm going to command click and go to shell. Okay, and we'll just move that out of the way. If you want to see what you can do with it, is we can go to unfold. I'll pin my UV border. Actually, I won't pin it, and I'll click apply. And interestingly, it flips it and gives us a pretty good mapping of the surface area. I'm going to leave that as is. Because remember, we are going to have to split these. We're going to have to flip them and join them. All right. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because this little piece right here has been mapped properly, except, again, I'm going to do the same thing we did with the pinholes in the previous video, tutorial. I'm going to cut these two pieces, and then I'm going to cut this center piece. Again, by keeping that edge loop and fencing in that edge loop, it sets us up to be able to do this pretty easily. And I'm going to cut it like so. And I'll go to UVs, take these pieces, and I'm going to take both of these. Now, I could conceivably have left this alone, but I'm going to actually want it. Pull this down. Let me do also this. I'm going to uncheck display image so you can see a little bit better of what's going on. All right, it defaults to the basic color of the Lambert. I'll move these out of the way like so. And I'll move these off the edge. Now, these little pieces right here haven't been mapped properly, and they share that with the inside edges here. Double click that edge, click that edge, click that edge, and let's clip them. Clip it. And go to UV there. Command right click and go to shell. And move these over. Notice I'm going to group these in the same area. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm clipping off all of these parts that don't quite work. Now, interestingly, this is going to be the reverse, because now we've got these parts which are properly done, or the side of the hole which is properly done, but the edges are not, but the flat parts are not. So let me hit F here, and I will double click again, go to that middle edge, and it goes around there, and we'll clip it. We'll clip these two. And I will go to UV and go on there. Click on one there and shell those two. Like so. These I know I'm going to go in that direction. Now this I can go to shell and pull that out. Do the same thing back here. Okay. Now, Whenever you get an edge like this, you can't go across it. And if you don't cut it, if you don't get that edge, you're going to have a hard time shelling, especially since it's so hard to see here. So we'll go to, actually we'll clip these, and then go to UVs. Select that, and select that, and go to shell, and move these out. And then grab that one, and move it out under here. Ah, interesting. All right, so what has happened is I'm seeing that I now have, I think I have more than one piece on here. Yep. Somehow I made a copy probably when I was extruding earlier in an earlier lesson. And so this is a good thing. This is another good thing to have happen. It may not seem like it. I've got geometry on top of geometry, and that's actually a bad thing, but we can fix it in this case by going to faces and pulling this out. We can see we've got an extra set of faces in there. So I can delete that. And I can do that here. So if hopefully you didn't have that problem. But if you did, I'll just go to shell and delete them. There. Now we're set. I don't know why they came out, but when I duplicated it to make the pins for the rudder, I think that's what happened. I extruded and duplicated poorly. So anyway, but we've got that squared away. Except I may not have these front faces. I have to redo that. But that fixed those. That fixed that there. Okay. Clip it. Nope. Looks like I've got them. Yeah. Okay. So these are all clipped and good to go. Okay. So we've got those two. Now the front part. The front pieces, kind of in the same boat. I'm going to hide my unfold. We're basically going to do the same thing. These side walls on the side of the prop are good. This has already been taken care of. And we'll go from here, and I'll go to here. We'll chop these out. Like so. And we will select UVs. We'll grab these two pieces there. And shell. Oops. And move these out to the side. Pull those out. Shell, and pull these out. Okay, now these right here, I'm going to go ahead and flip these. Go to shell. And I'm going to go ahead and unfold, bring up the unfold. Click apply. It doesn't quite work as well as I would like. I'll try pinning the border. Do the same thing here to shell. Now this is going to be interesting because this is a big piece. Apply that there. If I don't pin the border, if I don't pin the border, it changes the shape drastically, and I don't want that. That's actually not bad. I can pull that down a little bit. And you can see when you don't pin the border, what it will do is it will tend to want to distort. Unless you click, then you can turn off the don't pin the border. And it'll unfold fairly well. Again, remember that the purpose of this operation is to make a part of the map that doesn't, that is basically the same format, shape, etc. of what you see in your model, in the viewport. That way, when you put your texture on it, it won't distort. All right, so here we've made pretty good progress. We've separated our map into shells that we can then we can in the next lesson we can finish off by mapping in Y, and so we'll do that in the next lesson, and then we'll be ready to start mirroring our geometry.